a horrifying pirate captain lich crashed a necrotically enchanted boat into the dock and blasted a hole through the side of Doc's Tavern. Leo, the head of the local merchant guild, came and approached the party and commissioned the party to go after the lich while he was weak. The general consensus was that this lich seemed pretty key, somehow a linchpin to this whole whatever's going on. The party set sail from PortoLuce toward the Velkoran Islands, the federation of islands off the coast of Crespont, and which are ruled by the kind of notoriously harsh ruler Velrath. And Butterbeard discovered a stowaway aboard, an elderly pirate-like aarakocra, parrot aarakocra named Rusty Scram. She claimed to be returning to Velkora, having kind of been stuck in PortoLuce for many years, and this was finally her chance, so she had stowed away. And Rusty also warned the group that they should not expect an especially warm welcome in Velkora, and advised that they seek someone named Wario once they got there, because Wario could maybe help them figure out what to do next. He'd be a good resource. The ocean grew dark and foreboding. The whales that had been accompanying as departed, and soon the party saw a massive shadow rushing toward them. The Lord of the Whales erupted from the sea, now a terrifying undead monstrosity. Its eyes blinded with rage, its mournful, angry song heralding a wave of ghostly energy that crashed over the ship, chilling the crew and filling the air with eerie green light. A battle ensued. Spectral, necrotic hands, swarms of hands sprouted up from the deck, and the whole party fought to try and rescue and save themselves and get through this horrible moment. Ultimately, however, the battle reached its climax when the Lord of Whales, this undead Lord of Whales, smashed the ship in twain. The whole ship broke in half, and darkness consumed the crew as they were pulled beneath the waves. As you guys begin to come to, you each find yourselves on a shore, on a beach. It's sandy. You're completely shaken. You don't know where you are. You're completely disoriented. And you begin to kind of try to get your bearings. Doc, you specifically, as you start to look around and try to figure out what's going on, you feel a deep connection. As you'll recall from the last session, as you used and channeled your divinity, you felt a deep connection, and you realized that a lot of your magic was coming from your connection with the Lord of the Whales from 100 years ago. Anyone who is curious to learn a little bit more about that, we talked a little bit about that in your backstory session 0. And so you have almost a spiritual connection with the Lord of Whales. And so as you're waking up, you feel a sort of a tug, and you realize you look out at the water, and you can actually see the Lord of the Whales beginning to swim away. And you can feel in your heart and in your mind that somehow, as the Lord of Whales finally crushed your ship, its better spirit was able to kind of pull through, and it was able to, while it wasn't able to keep itself from destroying you guys in its rage, it did manage to at least make sure you guys got to safety. And you feel a deep sense of gratitude that maybe conflicted as well, but you feel a deep sense of gratitude as you sense that the Lord of Whales, in its gratitude for you and its care for you, managed to see you guys safely to this shore. And you just see it disappearing on the horizon as it swims away. with you guys now here. All of you, as you look around, though, you just find yourself on the shore. There's really nothing around except for the wreckage of your ship. There's planks and, lanterns, and your cannons are strewn across the beach. And there's just total wreckage, just like the beginning of Lost, but instead of a plane, it's a ship. And that's kind of it. So you guys are kind of groggy. You're waking up. What's happening? What are you guys doing here?
I think I think I would probably go around very quickly assessing health and, all the crew members. I would look for Frank, but not Frank, Butterbeard, and the Eric. I might learn to say that Rusty. And
Rusty.
Ghana. I'd be looking for everyone and making sure that everyone is okay. Right off the bat.
Okay. So you find everyone. The only person that you don't see is Rusty. She's not accounted for, at least not yet. As you're looking around, you don't quite see her as you're doing your initial search. What is everyone else up to?
I'm gonna get up and, in a panic, just after you kind of get it's almost like I don't know how to describe it, but the fight or flight kind of kicks in, so your body or your mind hyperfixates on one thing and focuses on it hard. So as I'm gonna be running around and just kind of repeating over and over and over again, burn it with fire, burn it with fire, burn it with fire, burn it with fire. And he's gonna be going around and burning all of the corrupted barnacles that are washing up to shore to make sure that doesn't affect anything on the island. And he's just going to keep going around burning everything. And as he's going around, remembering that a piece of the Lord of Whales actually ended up getting lodged into the ship after he had hit it with an arrow, he is going to go and as he's going, if he finds it or sees it, he's going to kind of collect it and put it with his belongings.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, during the battle, you had managed to sort of wound the Lord of Whales, and a piece of its necrotic flesh came off. And you had remembered that when you were in town, there was a kind of strange shopkeeper, leather worker, who had asked you that if you could get a piece of the hide of the Lord of Whales, that they would love to be able to try to craft some magical armor out of that.
Right.
So
and
that's
also
great.
being an elf,
to grab some.
He wouldn't want to waste. If coming from the forest and having respect for this whale, the Lord of Whale, he's not going to want to just, it's going to just rot into nothingness. No, he's going to use whatever it is that he's given from, nature.
Yeah. Excellent. And yeah, when the whale had attacked, these strange kind of phantasmal hands, everywhere they'd been, they kind of left this dark corruption behind them, these barnacles, and just some of those planks of wood have been blackened. And so yeah, you're cleansing, doing everything you can to cleanse the wood and get rid of any of these things that might have brought with them some kind of curse. What's everyone else up to?
Well, was it ever portrayed to us that was the Lord of Wales? I don't think the name was ever mentioned.
The only person who would have known that, I guess, would be Doc. Doc
Right,
would have
but I
certainly
don't think-
recognized it, but the rest
I
of
don't
you
think
wouldn't
Doc
necessarily know
said
that.
anything during the combat.
No, I don't think so. So the rest
As
of you
was
just know that
told
this was a
story.
majestic whale. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you might have recognized it or you might suspect that that's what it was from the story you heard.
But Ghana, as he wakes up, makes sure that he has everything. Kind of like Doc, he would look around and make sure everybody is accounted for, but once we can confirm everybody has survived the ordeal, I think he would actually walk out into the water itself and try to commune with the Merid as, what the heck was that?
I like that. Yeah, go ahead and roll for religion for me. See how good of a connection you have with him in this moment. I need my dice too.
That'd be a 12.
12. So not as I think because you're so kind of shaken in this moment, you're still kind of trying to center yourself, and your mind is still kind of scattered and catching back up with you after all this tumult. But you do manage to have a bit of a connection here, and you feel the Merid. You kind of see him in front of you. No one else would. You just are able to kind of in your mind palace have a connection, and he appears in front of you. As you see him, he seems distracted. He's working on something else in front of him.
Trying to think if he has a name.
Oh, we could give him a name.
Because Merid is the being, but does the Merid have a name?
That's a good question.
You know what? I'm going to say that you have always just known him as what's the captain of that big ship?
Nemo.
Nemo. Yeah, you've just always known him as Nemo.
Oh, wonderful.
That's good.
Nope.
I only know him from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Great movie.
Yeah.
All right. So as he sees him in the distance, excuse me, Nemo.
Nemo looks kind of surprised and turns around and is like, "Oh, sorry," and he like puts away whatever he's working on. You can see he was like, "I'm sorry, I was just cooking some dinner. I was making some kelp and seaweed, some sushi, some obviously vegetarian sushi. Don't judge me. Anyway, what do you need? What's up?"
We were embarking on a journey across the water when we were attacked. I thought
Right.
we would have safe passage, or at least a warning when such a beast would appear.
Yeah, well, I kind of thought you would use the gift that I so kindly offered you to access that relic, and I noticed that instead you dumped a bunch of gunpowder into my water, which I wasn't thrilled about, by the way. Certainly didn't add any great flavor to my seaweed salad that I'm making. That said, I'm not bitter about it. We're good. It's cool. The thing is, that creature is beyond my power. This is the problem. There's whole regions of the ocean that are just darkness and clouded to me, and I can't influence them. I can't control them. I can't see what's happening there. So I knew as you guys were heading into that region that it might be dangerous, but there was nothing I could really do to help once you went there. So glad to see that you're safe, though. I did my best to help get you guys to these shores safely, and glad you're not dead, friend.
The gift that I poured back into the ocean as it was from you, it returned. I chose to use a less destructive way to achieve the goal. I meant no disrespect.
Those forest guys, they're always trying to be non-destructive and peaceful, and it's fine. It's fine. I know that's your preference. I'm just glad that you did find the relic, right?
I did.
Good. Well, I wish I could be more help, but you guys are going. This is why I've asked for your help. You're going beyond where I can see. So,
Do you know what it was?
The relic? I just know that it contained ancient truth.
Beast that
The
attacked
beast.
us.
Can you describe it to me?
It was a whale. It was undead. Parts of its body were decayed or bones showing. It commanded the dead and was nearly 10 times the size of our ship, much larger than any normal whale.
As this is all happening, the rest of you guys are like kind of getting, you're dusting the sand off. You guys are starting to kind of...
Ghana's just kneeling in the water.
But are you speaking out loud?
No, this is all like
Okay.
praying and meditation.
Okay. So this is all internal, but you guys are trying to figure out what's going on, like as you're like making yourself busy with cleaning things up, and then you guys look over and you just see Ghana just like kneeling in the ocean, just like totally kind of zoned out, and you're like, oh, okay. Returning to this moment, Nemo says, oh, that is concerning. I can't say for certain, but that certainly sounds like you encountered the very Lord of the Whales himself. It doesn't make any sense. He should be resting. He died maybe 100 years ago and left a great absence, but sank as all great ocean creatures do to his proper resting place in the deepest depths of the ocean. If he has somehow been disturbed and awakened, he will surely be filled with rage, and it can only mean bad things. It can only bring with it problems. It doesn't bode well, but it only also speaks to the urgency of your journey. If a being as ancient and as powerful and as deep as the Lord of the Whales has been disturbed and brought to anger, something is truly wrong. Continue investigating the truth found on that relic, and anything that you can do to nip this in the bud and get rid of whatever creature or whatever being or whatever magic is at the source of all of this, disturbing the dead and awakening the tide beneath the tide. He says, almost like people trying not to say the name of Voldemort. Like he kind of whispers it. I just do what you can. I see that you have found some allies. This is good. I'm glad that proved fruitful, the help of Doc. I knew it would. Trust them, stay with them, and nip this in the bud as quickly as you can. Now, I need to get back to making the seaweed salad before it starts to go bad. But do you have anything else? I want to answer any other questions you might have.
One more. Is there any way to protect ourselves from these dark areas of the ocean? A way to know where they are or how to avoid them. We do need to return home.
It's really the whole area around these islands. If you're within a day's journey around these islands, it used to just be right around the islands. Now it's a full day's journey distance around, and it's only growing with each passing day. As long as you're in that area, you're beyond my reach. And you'll just need to be especially careful as you make any travel. So try to use the shortest passages you can from island to island. Be strategic when you travel. Be wary, and try to stay on land as much as possible when you're around Velkora.
Thank you.
Of course. And he ties his apron back on, turns back around. He's like, "Honey, the food's almost ready," and the vision starts to clear away.
Knew there was a lady, Madrid. Ghana would stand up, now kind of wet from his waist down.
What's Polaris up to as everyone's kind of gathering their bearings here?
I think she would be going through the wreckage to see, like, what supplies might have made it, if there's anything useful to be salvaged, basically.
Awesome. You guys are going through the supplies. You're seeing what you've got. You're dealing with the kind of the infection, anything that looks like it's been corrupted. Ghana, you've had this moment. Doc, you're kind of checking in. As you guys are doing this, you hear behind you the shuffling of some feet and a small group of what looked to you guys to just be kind of strange, kind of short fish people, kind of tribal looking fish people coming out. They're wearing all like kind of leather, and the clothing that they're wearing is like leather, and it's got like various animal like teeth and things like that. And you see there's a few of them kind of trailing behind. There's one up front who looks a little bit more kind of stands a little bit taller, and he's wearing clothes that look a little bit more regal. He's got extra layers of like fish tooth like necklaces, and he's all these all this jewelry ornaments all over, and he has this long robe that the other ones are carrying. And then there's one other fishman that's kind of walking, trying to keep up alongside him, and you hear him kind of rapidly talking, and just kind of overhear him saying, you know, I knew to come straight to you, old Jeeves. You know, that's my job. I stay out here and I watch the docks. This is where you guys position me, is take care of the docks. So I'm out here, and I as soon as I saw this shipwreck come in, I knew I gotta go get one of the 8. Gotta go make sure that one of them is able to take care of this. I knew you were the guy for the job, because back in the day, you know, we used to be such good buddies. And so I came straight to you. You're the first one I talked to, Stagram. I came right to you, and I brought you out here, and I knew you'd want to take care of this. And the kind of noble looking one, kind of, as he's approaching, he puts his hand out, kind of shushes him, and the rest of the fish people stop at his signal, and they're, you know, a little ways away from you down the beach, but you see the more noble looking one stop, have the other ones wait, and he slowly begins to approach, and he calls out to you guys, and he says, hello there, could you guys use some help? Looks like maybe you guys could use some food or some shelter.
Polaris is very confused. I don't think she's ever seen fish people before.
I was going to ask, would Ghana have ever seen this race among all of his travels?
I think you would have encountered other types of fish people, even in PortoLuce. People from throughout the Velkoran Islands, the people that live there are like tritons and sea elves, people who have fish-like features, and those people will trade back and forth with Crespon and in PortoLuce. So you certainly would have come across fish-like people, maybe never people exactly like this particular species of fish people, but you've encountered sea folk in general, yes. But I think you two, Polaris, you might have encountered some type of sea folk before in Twilight Reach, but pretty rare and few and far between.
Yeah, I think she's just really reminded that she's hungry at this point, because now there's fish.
See this just like the equivalent of someone seeing like a hot dog instead of a person.
Like, yeah, she's kind of hungry. Like she doesn't know how long she's been unconscious on this beach. There was a giant whale. There's been a lot going on, and she sees these fish and just like, hot dang, man, I'm hungry.
Like, am I hallucinating and seeing people?
Yeah, like,
right now?
Is the buffet just like walking itself to me?
That's amazing.
DoorDash.
Man just created DoorDash.
Ez would
DoorDash.
walk up after being, is there anything we can do to help? And he will describe, Sir, I urge you to have your people search the wreckage and burn any of the barnacles, the corruption, and never touch it. Do not touch it, but burn it with fire until it is gone. It's extremely dangerous, and it must be gotten rid of. I've seen what it can do.
He looks and he sees the like sheer sincerity in your eyes, expecting you to be, you know, kind of a kid, and he realizes there is not a hint of joking in your eyes. He says, "Oh, okay. What happened? Why is there some kind of corruption on? We've heard a little bit, but I'll be honest. Our little island here, we've lived in isolation for the past several decades. We don't really get many visitors. Tell us what happened. What brought you here?"
The curse of the ocean. We were attacked by an undead whale. They wrecked our ship offshore, and we somehow made it here. And what comes with it is this corruption I speak of that must be purged with fire. If you were to touch it, you would become like them. You would become aggressive. You'd become undead. You'd become a way that there is nothing but pain and destruction. So I urge you to go out into the wreckage and help destroy what is left there. And if you make it out into the water, be very careful. It may be certain death.
This doesn't bode well. Yes, and he motions to a few of the servants that are with him. He says, as the boy says, go and look for any of these corrupted barnacles or anything on the wood here. Gather it, organize it, lay it out all on the shore here, and if there's anything that looks corrupted in any way, burn the corruption away. And he waves them over, and a few of them go over and they start to go through the wreckage and try to clean things up. He says, look, you guys look like you've been through hell and back. I would love to help you however I can. We can have some of our shipwrights come and help you guys with rebuilding your ship. And we'd love to offer you guys some shelter and some food. I can only imagine you guys must be just dying of hunger and some thirst, and probably wouldn't mind getting a decent rest. Does that sound good? I'd love to show you guys some hospitality. Again, we don't get any guests here on this island very often, and when we do, we want to make sure that we treat you well.
I'm gonna cast Divine Sense.
Okay. And just remind me, Divine Sense, it tells you if there's any
whether
if
or
they're
not
good or
it's
evil.
good or evil.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because Ghana was about to cast Detect Good and Evil.
Yeah. So Doc I am gonna be like trying to figure out. I'm gonna assume that I've never been here before. Like I don't know. Like yeah, okay. So I'm gonna say that I want to know what's going on. Who are these fish people? Is there any evil in them that can be detected at this point?
Yeah. And Doc, I think you would specifically know these oceans, these seas like the back of your hand. Ghana, you do too, just maybe to a lesser degree. You maybe know with the maps still well, even if you have less time on the ocean. In both cases, neither of you have any. You've been racking your brains trying to think of what island is this, and you've never heard of an island like this. It's nowhere on the maps that you've ever heard of. And as you use your divine sense to try and discern is there evil or good afoot, you don't get the sense of either. You don't get the sense that these guys are particularly evil in any way, but you also don't get the sense, like you don't get a strong sense that these guys are particularly benevolent or good. They seem very neutral as far as you can discern.
I would greatly appreciate some help in any repairs, shelter for my crew, whatever you have, we would be so very, very appreciative of any assistance that you can offer.
Great.
Anna would
Okay.
step forward.
Mhm.
Like from the back, because he's coming from like the water. When we were shipwrecked, we were on our way to this island in search of someone. This person is not like you. He is undead, a skeleton, someone that would stand out.
Hmm. You know, I think I know what you're talking about. Well, I guess maybe I should clarify. Was this person protective and helpful, or was this person evil and hurtful?
Evil and hurtful.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
then I
very
maybe I
mean.
don't know. If this was some kind of a malicious entity, I'm not sure, unfortunately. Perhaps I can share more about our culture and our history, and once we've had a chance to get somewhere a little bit more comfortable. I'd love to invite you back to my home and our halls, and give you a warm meal, and maybe get a little bit more comfortable, and I can fill you in a little bit more about who we are, and we can make some plans on getting you guys safely on your way. Would that sound good?
Yes, of course.
Anna's
Y'all can just hear Polaris's tummy grumble a little bit at the discussion. of
Audible
the video.
grumbling.
Yeah.
Well, Ghana would say, do you know someone that fits that description who is helpful?
A bit. Kind of a undead. Describe him a little bit more. Maybe, do they look like a fish?
They do not.
Then no. No, I do not. And as he says it, he says, I think this is a good time for us to be on our way. I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have. It's just a short journey toward the middle of the island where our village is situated. And he turns and kind of starts walking in that direction. The servants that he had helping continue to kind of gather up the wood and put it together, and they're finishing getting rid of any corruption that was over there. And the rest of them are now following with you guys. And Jeeves, the other fishman that was with him, kind of runs over and he says, Stogrum, do you want me to come with you? And Jeeves, thank you so much. You have served your purpose beautifully. I ask that you would stay here and continue keeping an eye on these docks. That would be wonderful. Please return to your home and your position here, and continue to keep an eye out. And Jeeves kind of sheepishly is like, yes, of course. And he heads back over to there's a very small dock with like one small little fishing boat and a little kind of hut that he lives in. He goes over there, and the rest of the fish people start heading back toward a path. There's kind of a line of tall grass and trees at the edge of the beach, and there's a path that leads through them toward the middle of the island. And he starts kind of gesturing for you guys to follow and heads that direction. Unless anyone wants to, I don't know, resist or not go or whatever, we will kind of cut to the village. As you guys arrive in this village, it looks like kind of what you might expect, just in kind of thatched roofs, wood structures, and Stogrum very generously invites you to kind of a large structure in the middle of the village, and he brings you in, and there's a few other fish people there, and he kind of shoos them out, and he says, "Please excuse us. We need we need this space to be private. One of them that's about to leave, he says, wait, I need, cook, please stay. And he says, I would love for you to help and prepare some food for our guests. And so one of the fish people kind of runs back to one of the back rooms, and you hear a fire start, and after just a few minutes, you can smell delicious food kind of wafting in from the other room. It smells like seasoned salmon and tuna and delicious seaweed and kelp and some fruit being cut that's been grown on the island, fresh mango and pineapple. And you just hear them chopping and cutting and cooking, and he's sitting there and he's just kind of talking to you guys. And after what seems like just a few minutes, they start bringing out plates of food, and they serve it to each of you, large, kind of poo-poo platter style, this large banquet table, and they lay out all these big plates of food with plates in front of each of you guys to serve yourselves. And Stagrim says, well, enough small talk. I suppose this would be the right opportunity for me to fill you guys in on a little bit more about us and what we can do to kind of see you guys on your way. He pauses for just a moment, and he takes out, you notice he has like a saucer, and it just has water in it. And as you guys look around, you notice all of the other fish people have similar little saucers that they kind of keep with them, and like they always have it in one of their hands, and they're kind of always looking in and checking on these saucers. And as you think back and you're noticing this, you recall that on your way in, there was actually a large, like a big, almost like a bowl that was full of water that was kind of in the middle of the town square. And there was a bunch of fish people kind of gathered around that, and they're all kind of peering into it. And you see Stagrim kind of look in his little saucer, and he looks at it, and he pauses for a moment, and he kind of nods, and he says, yes, right, good, okay. And he sets it down. This is good. Looks like we have a break for a little bit from our regular programming, so I have some time. This would be a perfect opportunity for me to answer any questions that you guys might have, and start getting a plan together to help you out. Where are you guys off to? Where are we trying to get to that we can help you guys with?
We're trying to get to the Velkoran Islands.
Yes, the Velkoran Islands.
Do you know where we are in relation to the Velkoran Islands? Could you show us on a map?
We don't really keep maps here. A map would suggest that anyone was ever going to leave, and no one really ever leaves. At least none of us ever leave here. Those who live here, we tend to stay here. So we don't really have any maps that show any of the surrounding islands. We've heard that there's Velkoran. We've heard that there's other islands around here, and that they're not that far. Other times that we've had people kind of wash up on our shore, seems like they've been able to make it to other islands relatively easily. But that's a little bit hard for me to say. All I know is the only direction that we've ever had visitors come from is to the south. So I'm assuming whatever islands you would need to get to would be the ones south of here.
Does this island have a name?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I'm so sorry. How rude of me. Welcome to the beautiful, wonderful, idyllic island of Mispace. I'm so glad that you were here.
Mispace.
Mispace, indeed.
Is there anyone near where Ez is sitting that has one of those saucers?
Yeah, you actually. So you guys are kind of in the middle of a large room. And around this big table, you guys are kind of sitting on the floor around this large table. And I'll have you roll for. I want to say perception, or maybe if you want to do investigation, I would let you do either. Basically, like, are you able to tear your attention away from the food and the conversation enough to kind of look around and start to get a sense of what's going on around you?
It was 22.
Okay, so for sure, you, as everyone is talking, you take a moment to maybe, kind of pause and get your bearings, and you notice that a couple of the fish people that are there's the handful that were serving you guys food, and then there's two others who have kind of positioned themselves on either side of the door that you guys came in through, which is the only door. There's a couple of windows, but that's the only door in or out of this large room that you guys are in, and they've kind of positioned themselves on either side of it, almost like guards. But they're not on the outside preventing people from coming in. They're guarding from the inside. And both of them have those little saucers with them. And they're maybe 10 feet away from you.
I'm going to get up. I'm going to walk over to the guards. Just kind of looking like a kid, just kind of inquisitively, like, just ADD looking around. Kids, they can't sit in one spot for too long. And he's going to kind of like meander his way over to the guards nonchalantly and just, what's in the saucers? Just like as a kid, just ask, questions randomly.
Yeah. So the guard looks at you and kind of looks to Stagram, and Stagram looks back at him and just kind of nods. And the guard says, Would you like to take a look?
Ooh. As we kind of look back at Gra, because he doesn't know. So he looks back at Gra, just waiting for a response from Gra, and Gra just kind of slowly nods his head. Yeah, I would like to.
The guard kind of lowers. They're not actually that tall, so they're about the same height as you, probably. And so he kind of holds out this little. It's a saucer, like, I don't know. I imagine this is similar to, like, it's like a round saucer, almost like what you might put like soy sauce in or something. But it just has water in it, and the water is strangely still. Like you would normally expect water to kind of slosh around and be disturbed, but he seems to have perfected this ability to keep the water totally still. And he holds it over to you, and you realize as you look at this that this is actually you would have had some experience with these maybe in the past, to a limited degree. This is some kind of a scrying pool, some version of like they've magically enchanted water that's allowing communication to come through it. And as you look at it, you see an image. It's a little bit fuzzy. It's a little bit hard to make out, but there's some kind of a figure, but they're kind of blurred. And in front of them, you just see the letters BRB. And he says, it's not a lot to look at right now. They're on a break, but they'll be back in just a little bit. So right now, they're just kind of, it just has some music playing. And as you listen a little bit closer, you just kind of hear some like generic Stream Elements music.
Elevator music.
Yeah. It just kind of like, it just kind of sounds like there's some guy on like one of those metal, what are those, like the metal drums or whatever? I can't think what this is actually called. Steel drum.
Steel drums, yep.
Yeah, there's just some guy kind of playing a steel drum in the background. And it just says BRB with some kind of looping graphics.
As will, still being where he is going to use minor illusion, because I'm guessing people have like dishes in front of their faces right now because we're eating food. And at Doc's dish, or no, Ghana's dish, he would project an image of like lettering. Ghana, what languages do you speak?
Well, currently, Ghana has his eyes glued on you, because Ghana was wanting to get up and try to figure out more about these dishes, but when he saw you, he's just kind of been watching what you're doing the whole time.
You're just intensely curious about what's going on.
Yeah, like Ghana wants to know what's up with the dishes, and when he saw you get up and ask about the dish, he is intently trying to eavesdrop everything that's being said in your conversation right now.
Gotcha. And then
so you look over to Ghana to cast Minor Illusion, and Ghana is just staring at you.
And Ez knows you picked right. What languages do you speak, by chance?
Well, I don't think Ez would know what languages Ghana speaks.
Ooh. Then he's gonna take
that's
a
a good
risk.
point. You might have to guess. Yeah.
He's gonna take a risk, knowing that you're really traveled in Sylvan. He is going to project, pretty much he's gonna project. Oh, why can't I think of the word? We call them dishes or like what are they?
Like a scrying pool.
Like a scrying pool. He's gonna say the dishes are scrying pools. We're being watched in Sylvan on Ghana's bowl, like in Ghana's bowl.
Okay.
But at the
Ez
moment,
is gonna
Ghana, you don't notice
Ez is
'cause
gonna
you're
look to see if
watching.
he reacts to it or not, to see if he understood.
Well, currently he is staring at you, so he doesn't know that something is not going on in his bowl.
Oh, Ez will hold his bowl up and look to the bowl, look at Ghana, look to the bowl, look at Ghana.
Roll for sleight of hand
Ooh, I'm good at that.
to see if you could do this in a way that's not really obvious.
That is a 17.
Okay, so you managed to do that in a way where no one else is really picking up on the fact that you're trying to signal to Ghana.
I'm
All
sneaky.
right, so Ghana looks down at his bowl. And looks
You
back
understand,
at
Sylvan?
He does not.
I love that.
Hey,
You're just
it was
like
a risk. It was a risk.
you're just like my friggin' alphabet soup is writing something in a foreign language.
Does Ghana indicate to Ez the heck you saying?
Give me a second.
You can roll for a sleight of hand to try and signal back.
No, Ghana is going. I'm still going to roll sleight of hand, but not to communicate back. I'm going to roll sleight of hand because he's going to cast comprehend languages and try not to be seen doing it.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
What are the components? Does it have a verbal?
It is verbal, somatic, and material, but it's a pinch of salt, which I'm sure we have access to.
Yeah, that's fine. So you kind of mutter under your breath. You take a pinch of salt, and you do a little hand motion. I'm assuming it's like a jutsu from Naruto. That's what I always imagine any spells are in D&D.
And then, well, the 14
roll
on
for-
sleight of hand.
I think that's good enough. No one's expecting this right now. So you managed to cast that spell, and you can understand what it says.
So now I can understand what he says.
Yeah, again, you're like alphabet soup. Now all of a sudden all the letters reorient themselves again, and now in common you can read it, but it's only common to you.
So now Ghana's going to look around. All the people have saucers. Are there any saucers out that do they all walk around with the saucers at all times, or is there a communal saucer inventory that people pick a saucer up from?
There was a big one that you saw outside, and then in here, there's a big one kind of right in the middle of the table, like a centerpiece that you guys had just assumed was like the punch bowl, but just water. And in this case, but no one, I don't think, drank anything out of it.
He will just look back at as an nod in acknowledgement, not that he can really do anything about it.
As will then, after getting the acknowledgement, he will then move to Doc's Bowl. And he, being a human as an elf, is going to be like, yeah, there's no way he speaks anything else but common. So he's going to then do the same in Doc's Bowl, but in common, and he's going to do the minor illusion to convey that.
As you do that, before you get a chance, Stogrim, kind of seeing that the room has gotten a little bit tense, sensing that there's maybe just a little bit of a, a few seconds have passed now as you've looked, and it's been no one's really saying anything. Stogrim says, I suppose you guys might want to know a little bit. I realize maybe these are, I don't know if you've ever seen anything quite like these. I can explain a little bit more about these pools that we use. And in fact, they actually lead me to what I wanted to talk to you about next, about getting you guys on your way. Would that be helpful? I could tell you a little bit more about them.
Yes, please.
Well, wonderful. Here's the long and short of it. These pools allow us to get a constant feed 24/7 of our wonderful leader, Tom. Tom is great. He's very, very good. He's powerful and magical. And he protects our island from anyone who would do us harm. And so the fact that you're here in the first place, very encouraging. If you guys meant us harm, Tom would have already, seen to it that you wouldn't. And so Tom talks to us through our pools throughout the day. Obviously, he has to take breaks once in a while, so it looks like he's going to be right back. He's on a little bit of a break right now, and he's got his servant playing some music for us while he takes a little bit of a break. But when he comes back, I'm sure if you guys wanted to listen in, you'd be welcome to. He just likes to tell us things all day and what things are like going on, and what he gives us wisdom and insights. It's wonderful. He's truly a wonderful leader. And the important thing there is simply that what is it? Tom, right. Before you can leave, again, we would love to help fix your boat and maybe send you with some food. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying this food. But before you go, the one requirement that we have is that all of you will just need to swear your fealty to Tom, and that way we can know that before you leave that you won't go off to some other island and tell them about us and send people to come and steal all of our things and kill us. So just as a form of safety, to make sure that we can trust you guys to be on your way and trust with the secret knowledge of our island. As long as you guys all swear fealty to Tom, then we'll be able to send you with our blessing and some food and some water, and should be all good.
As he's gonna raise his hand.
Question. Yeah.
He looks to you, Ghana, and says, "Yes, elephant man. Yes."
Just, if your leader Tom is powerful and can protect all of you, and would have seen it that we were not here if we meant you harm, what is the purpose of swearing fealty to him so that we do not spread the word? If we spread the word, then if people came to harm you, would not he protect you?
Good question. Tom is powerful, but only so powerful. So say someone came with a whole army to attack us, it is possible he could be overcome. And he can get a sense for visitors, but it's only so strong. And so for him to give his blessing and to allow us to send people on their way, he needs to be able to meet with people in his chambers, where he can get a full, deep sense and discern, and ultimately make sure that you mean us no harm and that he can trust you. And then, of course, he will send you on your way. Far be it from me, mere Stogrim, to question our great Tom. This is what he has decreed, and as one of his 8, it is simply my job to carry out his decrees and his demands.
Polaris is going to raise a paw. What happens if he decides we're not acceptable, or that he decides he doesn't trust us, or we say no?
Oh, that is a good question. If you refuse to swear your fealty, or he does not believe you, and he perceives that you are deceiving him about him being your number one friend, he will send you to work in the gulag for the rest of your days. Or, well, not for the rest of your days. That sounds harsh. You will have opportunities once a week to essentially try again and to re-swear your fealty. And if he then believes you, then, so once a week you get to keep trying. And eventually, people usually end up coming around and are willing to genuinely, promise to consider Tom their number one friend and swear fealty to him. And then they're on their way and they head off to wherever they need to go. And everything works out really great.
But what about the
still
swearing
raising his hand?
fealty? How does he know if you mean it?
Oh, yes. He's very discerning. He has impeccable judgment, and none of us would ever question the judgment of Tom. He, there's been very few people. Usually, people. There's been very few people here in general, but of them, very few people who have ever not been able to swear fealty. And it looks like you have a question over there, young man.
I have 2 questions actually now. Lots of questions. But my first question is, what does fealty mean?
Oh, allegiance.
So, if he goes to war, we're required to, fight for him?
No. Really, all that means
if he wants us to come here, we have to?
No. I'll simplify. You just have to agree that he is your number one friend. He will say, "Are you my number one friend?" Or sorry, I'm getting this wrong. He will ask you, "Am I your number one friend?" And you will either say yes or no. And if you say yes, and he discerns that you're being honest, then you're free to go.
But Graw's my number one friend.
Well, maybe you could talk to Tom about that. I don't know. Again, I'm his messenger, and he's a benevolent leader. I've never seen him, hurt anyone unjustly. So,
and then my other thing that I wanted to say is I'm a wood elf. I don't know if you know much about wood elves, but we're kind of like your people here, where we're small. We keep to ourselves, kind of in the woods. And people do come after us. Unfortunately, there's not many left. So I wouldn't ever give you up because I get it. But Graw's also my best friend.
Stagram kind of looks, and you can see in his eyes that he's understanding, but he kind of steels himself and he says, "Look, I need you guys to understand. Tom is not to be questioned. He has ultimate authority here. I am his faithful servant. As you can see, there are many people here. Tom has chosen 8 to be his faithful companions, his disciples, his apostles. I am one of those 8, and I'm here simply to carry out his will. Now, Tom is good. He's kind. I trust that he will treat you all fairly. The key first is simply to gain an audience with him. I would encourage you guys to start there, gain an audience with Tom, and once you've been able to have an audience with him, I trust that you will be able to work out what you need to work out, and we will be able to safely and securely, and with all of our blessings, see you on your way, and none of this will be a problem at all. If you'd like, I can give you some options on how to gain an audience with him, because that can be a little bit tricky. He does have limited time since he's so busy sharing and teaching us all day. But I can give you some options for how to gain an audience with him. I think that's probably your next best course of action.
And what if we do not get an audience with Tom?
Eventually you will. If you refused to see him, I suppose you'd have to fight the might of our powerful military and Tom himself. But I hate to even bring that up. Of course, none of us would want to see that happen.
I apologize if I am being too forward. But from the sounds of what you say, Tom is less of a leader or friend and more of a dictator.
I mean, I suppose every nation has a different type of operating system. I don't know what kind of leadership you have where you're from, but we operate under basically he's our faithful leader and tells us how to live, and we love him and trust him, and we follow his every command. And would never do anything else, and would never really question him. And everyone around the room says, "Yes, all hail Tom, our number one friend." And you start to get the sense that these guys are maybe
Cult.
brainwashed, however you want to say that. Yeah.
Our goal was we are on a mission to continue on to the Velkoran Islands. If this is not the Velkoran Islands, then we wish to continue on our way.
Very good. Well, here's what I would recommend. If you would like to leave these islands, consider an audience with Tom simply a pit stop on your journey. To get there, here are 3 options. 1, if you can offer enough gifts, vast wealth, many diamonds and gold, hundreds and hundreds of roses, things like that, beautiful, shiny things, you could earn an audience with him. You could become one of the 8, which, I mean, silly to even mention that. We haven't changed in decades. The 8 are one of the most consistent things on this island. So really not a real option. Or, of course, you could go and perform in the Colosseum. And that is the route that most people choose to take. If you can win in the Colosseum, then you gain an audience with Tom.
Ezra raises his hand.
Yes. Hear me.
Graw wants to go to the Colosseum.
Beautiful.
He wants to prove he's my best friend.
He's wonderful. How about this? Let me call. One of the other 8 runs the Colosseum. They'll actually be having a round of events tonight. I'll call him down. My good friend. He just goes by Itchy. Itchy will come in. I'll have him give you guys a little bit more information about how the Colosseum works. That way you guys can make a final decision about if that is a route you guys are all comfortable with as a group. And as long as you guys are all comfortable with that, we actually, perfect timing, we have a round of the competition going on this evening. You guys can go and you guys could compete. And if all goes well, you could be talking to Tom this evening. He immediately takes audience with whoever wins in the Colosseum each night. So I think that sounds very good. I'll call Itchy down here, and he'll come and talk to you guys, and he'll fill you in. And
Hey guys, my name is Mark and I'm the lead pastor at Lux Digital Church. I hope you're enjoying the D&D campaign, the show today. I hope you're having a great time hanging out with the entire crew. And I also wanted to tell you that over in our Discord server, we have an ongoing Dungeons & Dragons West Marches style campaign. That means you can jump in and play at any time that is convenient for you, as long as there's a game being offered with a variety of different dungeon masters and players. We have games that are posted every single month that you can join in with, starting at level 1 and going the whole way up through level 15 in D&D in the new 2024 5th edition rules. If you're interested in joining in and playing some D&D with us, all you have to do is join our Discord server at discord.gg/luxdigitalchurch, and then go ahead and grab the D&D role, slide down inside of the channels to the Play D&D section, You can look there and find different videos on character creation, different elements of the world that we're playing in, and then you can submit your character and jump in an adventure off of the guild board soon. Once again, I hope you've been enjoying the show and the live stream, and we hope to see you over in the Lux Discord to play D&D with us very soon.